Let's get the party started. Hello, hello. My name is Nina Ceballos. I am a holistic women's fitness trainer in the industry for over 10 years. I have been helping hundreds, and I'm so happy. I have been helping hundreds of women to understand how they can have control of their bodies, how they can start working out from zero. So I specialize in working with women that come from zero background of fitness, that just get to the gym and they're like, I don't know what to do. I am scared of all this machinery. I have heard all this information and I don't know where to start. And I have been making this my passion because unfortunately, as a fitness trainer, with all the certifications that I've gotten, most of the certifications do not take in account female body constitution, and they do not take in account female hormonal fluctuations. And this is even more noticeable as we approach perimenopause, which starts between 35 years old and it can finish around 45, 48 years old, right before we start with menopause. And then through menopause, there is a whole other array of things that will happen in your body that unfortunately up to like 6 7 years ago you go to the doctor with all of these symptoms and then you be like, I feel depleted, I don't know why I'm gaining weight, I am doing everything the same way I was doing it in my 30s, and this is not working out anymore. I'm gaining this weight, I can't sleep well, I feel foggy, and a doctor will tell you, you know what, you may be really stressed out and here's some Ambien and here is some medication to keep you in a better mood, and that has nothing to do with what is truly going on in your body. So only up to, I want to say 5 to 6 years ago, more things have been coming up in the fitness industry with studies about the women's body and our cycles and how we can support our body, how can we work out different, how we can cycle our workouts, how we can cycle the way we eat in order to feed our hormonal fluctuation necessities. And why this hasn't happened, and I'm going to just give a quick premise about this. When you see studies and when you see these big influencers showing these studies about fasting, about keto, about calories in, calories out, a lot of these studies are, yes, true, and they do work, but they work for men. And why are these studies not including women? Because these kind of studies are very expensive and there is not enough funding. So most of these studies are done with guys that are in college, 18 years old, 25 years old, that want to make some extra money and they have the time to go and be at the lab and bring samples and all of these for long periods of time. But now ask a mom of one or two to dedicate 2 hours of her day to go and be part of a study with very little income to come for her, right? That's going to be very hard. And that's why so many women are out of studies. We are not in the medical studies. This is something that is very new. There is more funding being created. There is more awareness coming for this. And that's why the entire female care for weight loss, for fitness, it's kind of like a grassroots still, industry happening. And that's why so many women, as me, as Gabriela, and as maybe other girls that are here in this call, or maybe the person that invited you to this call, we are taking, the control of this, and we decided to start like digging more and collecting more information. But as information keeps coming, there is a lot of noise out there. And that's why I want to make this class so I can clear some of that noise. And if you have been confused and you have been doing this, your research, but you're not sure of which route to take, this is a route that I've been guiding many of my clients. This is the route that I've been taking. I think this is one of the most useful ones. But remember that we as individuals, we all have different biodynamics in our bodies, okay? So the way a woman that has been working out for her entire life, maybe she's have been running track in school and she's now, a big influencer in the fitness industry, is going to be very different than a woman who never worked out and is just starting in her fitness industry at age 40 or 50. Okay, so let's always take in count those things. Let's always take in count where you are in your personal woman's journey, and we can always remember things can always be modified according to what you need, and it is a lot of also trial and error. All right. Okay, so let's start this. Let's go for the next slide. All right, so what women are facing today? They're facing a lot, especially, this class is for my girls, mostly 35 and over. We start feeling these things as fatigue and brain fog. It's very hard for us to focus, not even in one movie. We start seeing all these hormonal imbalances. PMS looks different, mood swings look different, cycles look different. Maybe your bleeding time is changing, and also maybe your cycle is changing. Maybe it went from being 28 to 29 days to being 35 days, or maybe being even 20, or their bleeding time, your menstruation went from being 5 days to like 3 days, or one day of bleeding, then it stops, then it comes back for another 3 days, then it stops again, right? We're having weight that won't bulge, especially around the waist area. Dry or inflamed skin, these weird flare-ups that are happening, not only on your face, but maybe in other parts of your body, such as your armpits, the back of your legs. Those are very common one as well. And you maybe is also experiencing low libido and very poor sleep patterns. So when this happens, again, most likely you go to the doctor and you say these things are happening. And if your doctor is not being open to listen to exactly where you are, you may get prescribed something for, anxiety or depression, and that is not what is actually happening in your body. So what do you want to feel? The idea you feels different, and maybe you have felt this way before, or maybe you've never felt this way before, and that is okay, and that's why you're here listening to this call. So the idea an ideal healthy day, you wake up, you feel energized, you feel clear-minded, and you're grounded. You're ready to take on your day. You maybe are a list kind of woman. I try to be a list person, but sometimes I fail at that, and it's okay. But maybe you have your task list and you're ready to go, and you start marking your task, and good to go. You feel stable with your mood, and you have a healthy cycle where you are not dying that during your luteal, those 10 days before your cycle, you're not like feeling that, oh my god, I can barely carry my life. You sleep deeply and you rise with a purpose. And when I mean sleep deeply, please be very understanding that sleep is so important. It's so important at this age. You have no idea. I'm going to go deep dig deeper into that in the next slide. You radiate beauty from inside out. You feel good. You look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, you know what? I feel good today. A high five to me. I look good. My hair is good. My makeup is good. My dress is good. I am ready to rock and roll. You feel strong. You feel magnetic and in control of your wellness. And this is so important because you have to be the CEO of your health. You make your choices for what is best for you. And this is possible, and it is more simple than what you have been told. So in doTERRA, obviously, you all know that most likely you are in this call because a wellness advocate from doTERRA had told you about this call. And there is this pyramid of health that sometimes we underestimate in its importance. So health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not just merely the absence of disease or infirmity. And this is about the importance of understanding that health is just not being sick. Health is also in what's happening in your mind, right? That is what matters as well, that this congruence of all of these factors of our life need to be all in the same plane. So what is the pyramid of health? And it's important to understand. As an essential oils specialist, I have a thing that I love to say to my people, and it's like, I cannot oil up a poor lifestyle. I don't have an oil for weight loss. I don't have an oil that is going to make you work out. I don't. I do have oils that can help you support what you want to do, but I cannot make you do something. And I cannot also cover up your nutrition deficiencies. So if we start addressing everything from the very base, you're going to start seeing changes little by little. So the base of your health is your nutrition and your digestion. The next thing is the amount of movement that you're having. And because that is what's going to dictate your metabolism, which is your capacity to use your fat as energy, your rest and managing your stress, reducing the toxicity in your home and in your products. Because unfortunately, do you know that women are exposed to 168 chemicals every day in self-care products, makeup, plus everything that surrounds you? You know how many are men exposed to? They're exposed to 85. So that's not okay. Informed self-care, coming to classes, getting all the information that you need, and then the proactive medical care, which is actually you taking care of your health. All right, so let's start. Let's talk about nutrition. This is one of my favorite parts. And though I am not a registered dietitian, in my training and in my years of training, I have learned so much about nutrition and so much BS about nutrition. I have done all the crazy diets. I have done everything that you can imagine. And yes, they might have worked when I was in my 20s, but they don't work when you're in your 30s. They don't work at all when you're in your 40s, and you should completely ditch those when you're in your 50s. All right, so let's start. Why do we eat? So eat is not just about, just calories eat. It doesn't work like that for women and men. All right. For men, it works calories in, calories out. For women, it works completely different. So everything that you have heard in the typical, fitness, bro science world, it doesn't apply to women. You want to eat for muscle building. And this doesn't mean that you're going to turn into a bodybuilder unless you want to. Good for you. But if you don't, you need to eat to strengthen your muscle density because your muscles actually control the amount of hormones that can help your body keep on functioning. All right. That's why you want to have muscle density. And between age 35 and 40, you start naturally to lose muscle mass. That's what happens with your body. So you can either say like, all right, that's what happens, or I'm going to take action on this. Add to all of that, the hormonal changes that, you're going to start going through perimenopause, and then your decline is going to go faster. That's why strength training is so important when we are in this period. If you have never done strength training, no worries. I'm going to talk about that later. Maybe you are already strength training. Maybe you have been already strength training, but now you're seeing that your body's not responding the same way. We're going to talk about that too. Okay, so now how do we feed the muscles? Your muscles need to have good protein. And the most important part of the protein, the part that your muscle needs the most, is leucine, which is the amino acid that it is going to determine your muscle density, your muscle growth. All right. So there's a lot of questions when it comes like, yeah, but I don't eat meat, which is fine. If you are plant-based, you can still get the right amount of leucine. You just have to be more mindful of being able to get all of that into your body. All right. My ideal is eating in protein the same amount of grams as your body. So I aim for between 115 to 120 grams of protein per day. And yes, I do this because I also put weight training every single day. Pretty much every single day. There is a couple of days that I will go a little bit lighter, but I go for that strength training, and then I eat accordingly to my workouts, and then I eat right away after the workout. So maybe in your 20s, you have heard about fasting. And fasting does work if you try to lose massive amounts of weight as fast as massive amounts of fast as possible before having something like a bariatric surgery, right? So that can work for that. But it is sustainable for women? Not really, because unfortunately, extreme fasting without proper nutrition addressing, and especially if you have an active lifestyle, and again, this is women in perimenopause, may actually trigger more inflammation than what your body needs. Okay. Again, this advice is very different for younger women. We're talking 35 and over. All right. Plant-based versus omnivore, make sure that you're hitting those targets. If you are on plant-based, one of the foods that actually has very good amounts of leucine is edamame. But make sure that the edamame that you're getting it from organic sources. edamame can be also full of GMOs. So just make sure that you're getting those organic, high quality sources. Omnivore, a little bit easier because you get leucine from pretty much any kind of animal protein, fish, chicken, beef, whatever it is that your preference is. Okay, so remember, building muscle will help you balance insulin, estrogen, and cortisol. So the more muscle your body has, the better that control is going to be. That is going to help you feeling strong, feeling stable inside and outside. And it's going to also help your bones to keep their density, stay protected, and your joints to stay healthy. Most of the times when we have injuries, it's because muscles did not respond correctly and were not fed correctly for the amount of activities that you are doing. All right. So please make sure that you're eating this. Another thing that is very important is the amount of fiber in your food, because fiber is what is going to help your microbiome stay healthy. All right. So this is again where I go a little bit further from a little bit more of the keto approach, which I've seen does wonders for men, but for women, it might affect your microbiome, and you need your microbiome to be healthy. You need a lot of flora, because that flora eats estrogen, and it metabolizes estrogen, and you need to have a correct amount of happy bacteria to have that healthy digestion of estrogen in your body. Okay. Let's say you're not eating enough fiber, you're not eating enough greens. There are things that you can help your body with. These are not replacements for your diet, but these are boosts that can help you stay healthy within the things that you're already doing. Number one, the BMG Plus, which is our drinks, vitamins, and minerals drink. You take it once a day, preferably with a meal. This is a non-negotiable in my everyday. I finish working out, I eat, and then I have a glass of BMG, and that also will help you with your satisfaction for your sweet tooth. This is a very bioavailable blend, and it has some of the vitamins that women need the most, which is vitamin D. You have it here. So important. We don't get enough vitamin D, no matter what your lifestyle is, unless you are outside working in the woods every single day, then you're good to go. But most of us women living in the city, we don't get enough vitamin D. The next one is the EO omegas. The omega-3 are so important for lowering inflammation in your body and helping you keep a healthy cognition, healthy brain function, which is something that starts to decline when we start getting into the age of perimenopause. So having a good, bioavailable, high quality omega is so important. This one is a cold fish, is Italian. Oh, yeah, this one is Norwegian omegas, very bioavailable. They are mixed with wild orange essential oils, so they are very absorbable by your body and they don't taste like fish. You can even chew them if your thing is not to swallow pills. And then the last one is the PB Restore, which is a probiotic with a postbiotic and a prebiotic. So now most probiotics will get killed in your stomach just with your stomach acids. You want a probiotic that can travel all the way into the small intestine where it's needed the most. And this delivery function that this probiotic has, the PB Restore, will travel all the way where it's needed the most because of the double encapsulation and the postbiotic and the prebiotics mixed in the probiotic. Next thing, let's talk about exercise. This is so important, and this is where a lot of people get it wrong or get it confused. So now let's talk again. We're talking perimenopause. All right, live with intention. One of my clients just sent me a message saying like, oh my God, I just read this article and it's everything that you told me about the eccentric and concentric forces. CrossFit is great. I come from a CrossFit background. I used to own a cycling studio. I loved cardio, but cardio doesn't make you fat. And let's talk about this. We're hearing a lot of influencers talking us like, stop doing cardio. Stop doing cardio. Cardio is making you fat. Cardio doesn't make you fat. All right. It's what you are not doing and overdoing because you are only giving preference to cardio. cardio is all this here, okay? The happy mental zone, cardio is important because cardio can help you keep your mind clear. If your thing is running, if your thing is Zumba, if your thing is spinning, cycling, hiking, yoga, those are great things. They're amazing. They're necessary for your body. But this is more about your mindset, which is connected to the rest of your body. But these things don't build muscle density, which is what you need to be able to metabolize your hormones. All right. So what do you need? Muscle growth happens with heavy weights, happens with few repetition, high weight, few repetitions. You don't need to go for 12 repetitions, 15 repetitions, and like maybe you were doing in your 20s. You need those 8 repetitions, maybe 10 with 2 in reserve. Maybe it's like with 2 in reserve means that, oh, I can do 2 more repetitions, maybe. All right. And then you stop there. Those were your 2 in reserves. That's where you want to aim to. Concentric and eccentric force, meaning that when you lift your weights or you're doing your strength training, you focus in both ways, in the lifting, in the loading, and the deloading. All right. That concentric and eccentric force will help you build more resilience on your muscles and will help them stay stronger. The next thing is like feeding the muscle, which is eating what you're going to eat before your workout and what you're going to eat after your workout. I'm not a big fan of eating big before my workout because I don't want to feel full when I hit the gym. So I like to do my protein coffee. I add a teaspoon of protein into my coffee. I add as well layered coffee creamer, which is a coffee creamer that is fatty based on coconut. And then I mix it all up. So then I have in there some carbohydrate, some protein, and I'm good to go. When I go to the gym, my body's not going to be like, oh my God, I don't know where to get the energy from here. So I'm just going to get it from your muscles, from the few muscles that you already have. You want to give your body that base, that little punch. And then as you're done with your workout, you want to go and you want to eat your protein rich meal with healthy carbohydrates and fats. The next thing, endurance. So maybe you have heard of this thing too. It's like, don't do any kind of hit. It's so bad for you. It raises your cortisol. It will like, no. HIIT is not bad. The problem is that most people do HIIT for way too long periods of time. So you don't need to do HIIT for 45 minutes or 50 minutes, right? You can do a HIIT for 20 minutes or 15 minutes and you'll be good to go. So I like this formula is the 30 seconds max effort with a 30-second recovery for 5 rounds, taking 2 minutes in between 3 cycles. So you choose 3 exercises that you are going to use all of your body, your entire body, your biceps, your triceps. So think of maybe back lunges with bicep curls at the same time, but heavy bicep curls, like holding 12 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds in each hand. Think of rowing. Rowing is also, you're using your entire body. There is a strength training. You're using your back, you're using your glutes, your hamstrings. Think of planks with shoulder taps and push-ups, right? So those things, you do them for 30 seconds as hard as you can, then you rest for 30 seconds. And this is great for all my girlies that only have like 20 minutes a day to work out, all right? Attention to form and balance and paying attention to your rest periods. And this, I give you a little bit as well of how many times a week do I need to do this. You can mix and match depending on your time. You know, you can mix and match. So if you have your day that, you know what, I have an hour to do this, then you can do your 20 minutes of HIIT or 15 minutes of HIIT and then the rest of your muscle growth. Or maybe you can only do hits, then go for them. You have 3 times a week. Muscle growth, muscle strengthening, no matter what, 3 times a week. Please, 3 times a week at least for this. And then your happy mental zone, you can go to 3, 4 times a week. You can use them anytime, you know. But again, this is the complement. This is not the base of your muscle building. All right, that's why I made this little chart and I hope it serves you. All right. So this is very important. Also remember that if you are new to your work, to working out, your routine is not going to look the same as someone that has been training for her entire life, whether you both are 35 or 40 years old, all right? If Sarah was working out, has been working out and doing CrossFit and doing all of these things for 10, 15 years, and you, Anna, are about to start, you both are not going to have the same routines. It does not work like that. all right? Because it takes time for your body to adapt to changes. So where I like to start with most of my clients, I like to start them with body weight, correct form for like, this can last up to 6 months until your body adjusts to all of these stressors. And they might, and that can be enough. And then you can start loading with weights and more strength training. All right, so how you can support your energy for all of these things? You're like, oh my God, well, how do I get the energy for this? All right, there are a couple of things that can really boost it up. I really like the Meta Power Mito 2 Max. It's like a pre-workout without caffeine. You can take it like 20 minutes before your workout. Just don't take it before bedtime. It really will support your metabolism, your adaptation, your muscle adaptation, because it's going to help you to stay stronger through the workout. Many times we get injured when we get fatigued. So if we want to stay on point of everything that we're doing, this is a great supplement that you can add to your workouts. And then obviously, that remember the mind, right? This helps so much. It's also stay connected with your body. I really like the adaptive line for this. So the calming blend is actually great if you, for example, want to go for that long cardio, that yoga class, that thing that you really enjoy, but sometimes your brain is like thinking of 1,000 things and you're not able to get it done. Adaptive is really helpful for that. You have the capsules, we have GABA. GABA is a neurotransmitter that we have in our body that tells our brain, hey, you're not going to die. This is okay. But as we age, that GABA declines. All right. So GABA is what helps your brain saying like, okay, I got this. It's not a big of a deal. I can handle this situation. And then the oils are great to help you stay in a good mood and stay motivated because they have copaiba, wild orange, lavender. So you can use it either in your diffuser or you can also use it topically. I like to use it as a perfume, as a replacement of my perfume, and then adaptive whenever I feel that my brain is just going all over the place and I cannot focus on one thing. All right. Hope that clears. All right, now let's talk about sleep and recovery, which is super important. All right, so no, 5 hours isn't enough. Stop talking about that. Everybody has a different circadian rhythm though, all right? So some of us wake up with energy and are ready to take everything in the morning. Some of us are more of night owls and some of us are more of a midday kind of person. No matter what it is, 5 hours is not enough time of rest, all right? You need your 8 hours of rest, especially if you are over 35. Sleep balances your hormones. Literally, it does balance your hormones. Doing the deep restorative sleep, you regulate your cortisol, your insulin, your leptin, and your ghrelin. So your ghrelin is your leptin and ghrelin are your satiety and hunger hormones. The less ghrelin, the more ghrelin you produce, the more hungry you get. It's like the gremlin. If you have too much ghrelin, then you're hungry all the time. And that is because you weren't able to metabolize it during your sleep. I don't know if you ever realized that if you had to take a flight, let's say you have to wake up at 4 in the morning, you wake up and you're like, I need to eat something. That's because your body at that time was supposed to be metabolizing hormones, but now you interrupt it, so now you're gonna get hungry. This is a concept that is important to understand and to be patient with ourselves, okay? And that's why you have to sleep better so you can also see the recovery of your muscles. If you have poor sleep, you're gonna create more hormonal chaos. And when you have more hormonal chaos, not hormonal chaos, hormonal chaos, um, this will lead to more belly fat, to more mood swings, and to more snack attacks. All right, so sleep supports estrogen metabolism. Yes, estrogen detox is a process in the liver overnight. Your liver works around 3 or 4 in the morning. That's why it's important that you sleep around those hours. So skimping on sleep will slow your liver function and will lead to estrogen buildup, making you making you more prone to risks such as high PMS, fibroids, weight gain, and estrogen dominant symptoms. Sleep also helps your body build and repair muscle. Your growth hormone is released during deep sleep. And guess what? That's when your body repairs and builds muscles and more connective tissue. So if you are already in your, okay, I'm doing my strength training, I'm going for this, then you have to sleep. You have to sleep and you have to give periods of rest to your body. So no sleep, no gains, and therefore more injuries. All right, how can we sleep deeper? There are a lot of things that you have to do to sleep deeper that are not difficult, but you might not doing, which is number one, put that phone away 2 hours before your bedtime. Just put it away. And if you're gonna put it away, put at least a red filter on it. So the blue light doesn't signal your brain that you need to stay awake. All right. These are some of my favorite tricks for sleeping support. The copaiba is great because it calms the nervous system and is more effective than CBD. You can use both presentations, the oil or the capsule. You can take them both internally. And the copaiba, you can also diffuse it and use it topically. The Serenity is the restful complex. This is no melatonin in here. This is you have in here the necessarily active ahi flower, which is going to, and L-theanine, passion flower and L-theanine, which are going to help you produce your natural melatonin. And this is why I don't like melatonin um, supplements, because when you take too much melatonin, your body gets used to for an external thing, an external feed of melatonin instead of you producing your own melatonin. All right. Um, the Serenity Complex is the edible one, and then the Serenity Oil, it's great to diffuse or to apply topically, and it has lavender and vetiver. If you are not into lavender floral oils, then you're definitely going to enjoy the copaiba. All right, this is all woody. You can also get the lavender as a roll-on version if you want to start little by little. Put it on your spine, your wrists, your the inside of your elbows, your feet, so you can have maximum absorption. Okay, now let's talk skin, hair, and health, right? Okay, so my personal story, I lost a lot of hair on 2022. I lost around 30% of my hair. I started having really bald spots, so I stopped making posts about my hair. I used to make posts about my hair all the time. That's when I learned a couple of other things. And do you know that COVID, long haul COVID, affects more women than men? I didn't know that. Now I know that. And I know that a lot of women has been suffering with hair loss, not necessarily because of perimenopause, but also because they had COVID. So I'm going to explain you what happened. Number one, with hormonal fluctuation, estrogen drops and androgens rise. Not on everybody, but this is very common. So as estrogen levels dip and androgens like the DHT increase, the hair follicles will shrink, leading to thinning on the crown, right here, and also on your temples. So this is especially common during perimenopause. Chronic stress and elevated cortisol can also be a culprit for hair loss. Stress hits different after 35. High cortisol can push hair follicles into the resting phase, which is the telogen effluvium, causing noticeable shedding months after a stressful event that can be emotional, that can be physical, like COVID, or that can be even dietary. So in the fitness industry, I've seen a lot of women that will go into these extreme diets and the hair will start falling. All right. And this is something that many times you will not see on Instagram, because Instagram loves filters and there is tons of ways and lighting that you can use for you not to show deficiencies. So please be mindful that every time that you see somebody that is extremely thin, hair is, and especially after that age 35, believe me, hair is going to have downfall in there. All right, nutrient deficiencies, and yes, even with a healthy diet, because unfortunately our products does not have the same mineral and nutrient density as it used to have 50 years ago due to overproduction, right? So hair is a luxury tissue. It only gets nutrients when everything else is covered. So if your body is trying to recover and cover deficiencies such as low iron, B12, vitamin D, protein, collagen, omegas, your body is going to first try to heal every other tissue, and then the last one is your hair. All right. So that's why it is so important that you keep your nutrition in check if you want to recover from hair loss. Okay. So that's why solutions can't only be topical. Now, collagen. Yes, all right. There is so much collagen in the market. It's becoming more and more popular. There are more and more studies showing what collagen can do for your joint tissue and hair and skin, right? So there is a lot of collagens in the market, and I want you to take a look at this chart showing some of the most popular collagen brands out there and how they actually do not do much for your body. These are the types of collagen of most of these very popular brands. Actually, Moder, they just closed, and this was one of the most popular brands, but they went out of business. But the other ones are still up. Vital Protein is one of the most popular ones. You will find that at Costco, many stores. Contains heavy metals. The doTERRA ones test at 0. Most of the other ones will no or not say anything. The problem with, for example, bovine is that they can have traces of arsenic, which happens because their cows are eating, from the dirt, so from the ground. So they can have traces of arsenic. Tripeptides, those are very important because that means this is the absorbable ratio of your collagen. You can take collagen that has too much of a big chain that your cells actually can absorb. So your body will just get rid of it through your urine or when you go to the bathroom. So you want to have a small, tiny chains that your body can fully absorb in itself. The doTERRA one is freeze dry. It has 11 other powerful ingredients. And one of my favorite ones is hyaluronic acid. That one is great for your skin. And also it has NMN, which is the precursor of NAD+. If you are familiar with NAD+, is pretty much what makes the cells reproduces, what makes your mitochondria spin, what gives your energies, what gives your cells the energy to reproduce, to duplicate. So the one from doTERRA has target, is more about an overall thing that not just joints like some of these ones you see, they have different targets. We don't have any sugar in ours. There is several ones that use sugar, and the cost per serving, it's very, very doable. All right, so which one is this one? Is the Meta Power Advantage. If you have been following me on social media, you know that this is like one of the things that I love the most. I love essential oils. I love them, but these things saved my hair. After 3 months of taking these consistently, I started seeing the shedding slow down. And then I recovered my hair, and I was able to grow it all over again, and I was able to cut it and donate it, and that's why I have short hair again, right? And in December, I had cut my hair chin up to my chin, and I had already grown all of this. So pretty happy, and I am never going to stop taking this thing because my body doesn't produce the same amount of collagen as they used to produce before. So I gotta make sure that I'm giving my body the collagen that it needs. And there is no side effects. The only side effect is that you look great. These are the types of collagen, as I mentioned before, that you will get in this little envelope that you take once a day as maintenance, twice a day if you have like severe problems that you want to address. All right. You can take it 1 hour before a meal or after a meal. And in a recent study by UC Davis in California, Dr. David Barr shows this amazing research where it shows that for upper body injuries, collagen is actually reaching ligament where there is not enough blood flow. So for all my girls with frozen shoulder, all right, which can also happen for perimenopause, you can take your collagen 20 minutes before your upper body workout, so your body can squish that collagen into those ligaments that usually don't get enough blood flow naturally, all right? So that's why they take longer to heal than a muscle injury. Okay, other skincare and self-love rituals. You can feel free to take a screenshot of these. These are some of my favorite add-ons. The Yarrow Pump for glowing skin. Since I moved to Denver and I never experienced dry skin before from Florida, Yarrow Pump has been my saver. I use it every single night, and you can also use it internally, and it promotes as well your own production of collagen. And rose oil is anti-inflammatory, and it's very nourishing and hydrating for skin. For topical help for hair, rosemary and cedarwood are great to keep your scalp clear of debris, fungus, and unnecessary bacteria. All right, so they are very good. If your scalp is inflamed because you've been using as well products that are build up of products, rosemary and cedarwood are great for that. You can add them to your shampoo, or you can also do a serum. And then remember, I just mentioned how many chemicals we are exposed as women, and those chemicals disrupt your hormones, like PFAs and AKA forever chemicals. You can find them in makeup, you can find them in perfume, deodorants, lotions, everywhere. And maybe you're telling me like now, I don't use any of those things, but do you use them? Do you have friends that use them? You know, sometimes it's hard. And unfortunately, we women have been exposed to them for such a long time, right? So this is a very simple little mix that you can use as perfume. You can use Balance and Madagascar vanilla and make a little perfume for you. And or I also have a whole list of other blends that you can use to replace all of those synthetics. All right, so now let's talk about sensuality, which is super important. All right, so yes, there is a dip. Many of us experience that as we approach perimenopause, and maybe your libido is not the same as when you used to be 18, 20, 25, where you could go like, yes, everywhere. Right, okay, so there are some oils that also will help you boost your libido. Besides, oh no, obviously, remember that you always want to make sure that your nutrition is in check. But these are great oils that can help you support your hormonal health and your libido and naturally sync it. Claricalm is one of my favorites for premenstrual syndrome, for hot flashes and mood. I don't have hot flashes yet, but my girls in menopause have told me that they are loving the Claricam for that, and also spraying peppermint oil diluted in water. Ilang Ilang is in jasmine are great for sensuality and self-love. Geranium and copaiba are also great for hormonal harmony. This is a little suggested protocol. You can roll Claricalm every day on your lower belly, and you can diffuse these oils, especially if you're going to get into that time of sensuality, whether it's by yourself or with your partner. All right, and then we go back. So important, you girls. We gotta take all of those toxins away from homes. Okay, phthalates is like one of the most common one in most of the products that we have at home. All right, commercial brands love that thing, and phthalates is pretty much phthalate is it's a chemical that is necessary that is put in commercial products to make them last longer and to make the delivery more easy to the human body, okay, which makes it more absorbable into your bloodstream, which is not a good idea. Leaf cleaner feel lighter. So starting replacing the things that we have at home can make a huge difference. So this is one of my favorites. This is the On Guard Cleaner Concentrate. This is what I use to clean my bathroom, to like make my multi-purpose cleaner all around my house, and I don't have to deal with all of the synthetic chemicals and fumes from regular cleaners. This is a little do-it-yourself frankincense and lavender skin serum that you can easily do if you are not into having more like a deeper skincare routine. My skincare routine has like 5 steps, but I committed myself to it and I love it. And we're gonna do another class just on skincare. And natural deodorant is so important too. Oh, I cannot emphasize this enough. Antiperspirants are not good for you, girl. They're not. You have so many glands right here on your armpits, and you put them so close to your mammary glands. So the last thing that you want to be putting in there is toxic synthetic chemicals that can increase the risk of mammary diseases. So using natural deodorants is super important. I really like those two. I alternate between those two, and I am very glad that I came from a very natural background. My mom is a Peruvian, no, she doesn't call herself hippie, but I think she was very hippie. So my mother will make her own deodorant. We didn't have essential oils, but she would use magnesium milk of magnesium. In Spanish, we call them leche de magnesia. And that is just a natural deodorant. And then you can mix it with essential oils to have a nicer smell and, just feel more comfortable with it. But that is one of the basic ones. And there was like no side effects of that. But obviously, it doesn't have a fancy presentation, and therefore a lot of girls will go for like the Secret or like, the odd Dove and the other brands that have so many hormonal disruptors in it. All right, so let's make it easy. And here is your wellness game plan, your wellness game plan. All right, so let's make it easy. And then what I do, All right, so this is the wellness blueprint. Feel free to take a picture of this. If you are here as a wellness advocate and you want to send this information to one of your clients, great. If you're here as, just, oh my God, this is the first time that I'm watching this video, where do I start? Remember that you can always come back to the person that showed you this video, or to me if you don't know anybody. All right, so this is pretty much what I, what I would recommend. This is the daily foundation. This is a non-negotiable. All right, this is what I take every single day. In the morning, after my workouts with my first meal, I take a BMG, 1 packet, 3 omegas, 1 PB restore. That's it. It takes me 2 minutes to do that, less. And before my workouts, 20 minutes before the workout, I take a Meta Power Advantage. If I don't work out that day, let's say upper body, I will take it at nighttime before bedtime, 2 hours away from any meal. All right. But this is something that I travel with. It comes in envelopes, so it's easy to take it anywhere with you. All right. The next thing, if you are struggling with energy, Mito 2 Max is an amazing supplement that you can add. You don't have to depend on it, but if you need a boost, especially if you're just starting in your journey, Mito 2 Max is a one to go. I don't take Mito 2 Max every single day because my energy levels are pretty good, are very good. So I don't need it. But there are days that I have worked, long time and I need an extra boost. So I will go for a Mito 2 Max. And Adaptive is great to help you stay level-minded. If you have trouble with sleep, Serenity, Copaiba, Lavender, those are your go-tos, all right? Super easy. You don't have to take them all. You can pick and choose which one. You can also do trial and error and see which one will work best for you. Hormones, Claricalm, always in my purse, always in my purse. And Ilang Ilang, I really like to diffuse it and also make my perfumes with it. And then non-toxic living, if you want to start with something basic for skin, let's say you are not a fan of lotions yet, and you're going to start just with the yarrow pom. You're going to love the yarrow pom. It's yarrow and pomegranate seed oil. It's super absorbable, super nourishing, and it also helps you produce your own collagen. All right, so now promotions and perks. Obviously, when you get your account with doTERRA, whether it's with me or with the person that showed you this video, you get a lot of perks, which is awesome. One of them is the product of the month. This month, we had the Copaiba oil, which is whenever you would order 125 points before your the 15th of the month, or on by the 15th, you will get a free product. Then you have the 150 PB order this month, you get a free balance, a free vanilla. Then for any new customer that orders anything over 100 points, you get a free lavender touch. Any new customer or any current customer that, any new customer with over 200 points will get a free lavender touch, a citrus bliss, and also the balance and the vanilla Madagascar. And when you order anything over 100 points, you also get free shipping, which is awesome, right? Who doesn't like free shipping? All right, so let's go over here. And if you're ready to feel like yourself again, all that you need to do is get in touch with the wellness advocates who invited you to this call, and they will going to help you customize your wellness kit, access the current promos, access any questions that you answer any question that you have. Regardless, I am going to take questions here after I'm done with. I'm going to stop sharing this on Facebook, and I am going to as well stop the recording. So I'm just going to say a quick goodbye here on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for dedicating your time to learn a little more about how you can support your health after 35, okay? And